Drafting, one of the most important factor of ranked and competitive Brawl Stars. You may have the best players of the world on your team, but if your drafting is not good, you will not win. So today I'm gonna help you improve your drafting, and there are 4 parts in the video: bans, first pick, last pick, team synergy, and counters. Alright, let's start with bans. Now, banning depends on whether you have the first pick or the enemy team has the first pick. But if the enemy has the first pick, it's pretty straightforward. Just ban the best brawler on the particular map. Right now, Angelo and Melody is pretty good on most of the maps, so you can ban them if you're not sure whom to ban. But if your team has the first pick, it's a little complicated. Like, you don't want to ban the best brawler because you want to pick them, right? So don't ban the best brawler. Instead, ban other brawlers that are good on this map or any brawler that you hate facing against. You can also take risks by not banning any good brawlers, so that if they ban the best brawlers, you can pick up the good brawlers, so they will be left with no other good brawlers. Or if they ban the good brawlers, you can pick up the best brawlers. But all of this goes to waste if you're playing with randoms. So I would recommend, if you're playing with randoms and you're under legendary and you don't have the first pick of your team, I would recommend you to just ban the best brawlers, because you can't trust your randoms to pick it, right? Alright everyone, let's talk about first picks. Now, most of us know we have to pick the best and the good brawlers of the map, but that's not always the case, because most of the time they get banned out. So what should you do then? I would recommend you to pick solid brawlers. By solid, I mean that brawlers that doesn't get hard counted out by anyone, like Sandy, Nita, Surge, Stu. They are really great in this meta right now, and they do not get hard counted by any brawler. Now, if your team has the second pick should always be a brawler that doesn't get hard countered by itself, but also counters the enemy first pick. And the third pick should be a brawler that synergizes well with your first pick and your team's last pick, which we will get into later in this video. Also, brawlers with classes like tanks, throwers, assassin should never be the first pick, because they get countered pretty easily. And I'm talking about brawlers like Edgar and Bro, which are my random teammates' favorite. Of course, there are some exceptions. So that's it for now. Let's talk about last picks. Last pick is the most important part of drafting. After the last picks are done, you're gonna get an idea whether you're gonna have a good time or a bad time in the match. Remember, I told you not to pick the brawlers with classes throwers, tanks, and assassins in the first pick, because they are the brawlers that you're gonna choose in the last picks. Alright, let me show you an example. Imagine you're playing on this map against this brawler. Forget the bans, forget what your teammates have picked, just imagine you have the last pick. What brawler are you gonna pick? Now, if you pick any brawler like Edgar, Miko, Fang, absolutely great, because using this brawler, if you play well, you can absolutely destroy the enemy team. If you would have picked them early, the enemy wouldn't have played this, and you would have a hard time using these brawlers. And people complain about these are bad brawlers, but these brawlers are very situational, so you just need to know when to use them. Alright, I can't explain much of last pick without you understanding what is synergy and counter pick, so I'm gonna combine these 2 topics and explain you. Last pick and synergy is tied together. Like, your last pick decides what your team synergy is and what is your gameplay style gonna be. Like, whether you're gonna rush, you're gonna hold back, you're gonna play aggressive, you're gonna play defensive. Like, you are playing Gem Grab and your teammate has picked Sandy and Jean. You have the last pick, what will you pick? If you chose Max, it is the correct answer, because these 3 brawlers synergizes really well. Again, another one, if you're playing Hot Zone and your teammate has picked Dog and Jackie, what will you pick? The correct answer here is Gray. These 3 really works well in Hot Zone and pretty much unstoppable if you don't know. But this is not a video where I talk about different types of synergies in the meta. This is a video on drafting, but if you want a different video on that, let me know in the comments. But now, let's move on to counter. Now, counter is pretty simple. You just have to pick brawlers that counter the enemy teams. Like, you see a thrower in the enemy team, you play an assassin like Miko or Edgar or Mortis. But after that, they saw that you are picking a Mortis or Miko, they start to pull up like Bull. So now you just pick a Brock to open up all the map, where none of the throwers and the Bull gonna have any advantage. Now this is just an example, don't do this actually, because I already told you Miko, Mortis, these are not really good first picks. More examples are like your enemy team have 2 or more tanks, so you wanna pick Colette, but they have banned Colette, so you pick Sally. Another scenario where your enemy has picked Dog and Jackie in hot zone, so you know their third brawler is gonna be Grey because I just talked to you about this a few moments ago. So you haven't banned Grey, so what do? So you pick Grey yourself, and with that you pick Colette or Sally to counter Dog and Jackie. Now you gotta use your brain yourself, right? There's nothing I can do about that. Just keep playing more ranked and you're eventually gonna get used to it. You just need to understand what's the meta. Alright, we are done with the counters, so I want to talk about some important points about drafting. Number 1, don't be selfish. You know, this is a 3v3 game mode and you don't want to just pick a stupid brawler. Maybe it's a really good brawler, but all you're gonna do is lose the match. You may get the star player, but it's useless because you just lost. So don't be selfish, try to understand what your teammates are picking and try to build a comp around it, try to build a synergy. Another very important point is that your team should have 1 middle brawler and 2 lane brawlers. I often see people picking 3 lane brawlers, like, you know, they play Sandy, Rico, Rosa on Hard Rock Mine. They're all great brawlers for that map, but you need someone to play in the middle. All these brawlers are in the lane brawlers. So just be careful while building your team. Just make sure there is a lane brawler on your team, and that's it. And thanks for watching the video. If you want more guide videos like this, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.